morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here. Today, I want to tell the story about Chinese collaborative innovation using the case of our Chinese high-speed railway. And I want to know how many of you have been to China? Yeah, okay. And have you taken the Chinese high-speed railway? Oh, if not, and let's try it now together and through a short video.
By the end of 2014, total mileage of China Railway had reached 112,000 kilometers. In 2014, China Railway completed a passenger traffic of 2.32 billion and a freight traffic of 3.07 billion tons, ranking the first in the world. While effort is made in construction of conventional railways, since the 1990s, China started technical research and engineering practice on high-speed railway. By 2020, an express passenger railway network, jointly formed by high-speed and conventional railways, will reach more than 50,000 kilometers, basically covering all cities, with a population of more than 500,000. On the basis of long-term scientific research and test, China Railway learns foreign experience and insists on independent innovation, considering actual condition in China, having established a complete high-speed railway technological system. The survey and investigation, equipment development, construction and operational management have reached a leading level in the world. China has the experience in building high-speed railways in complicated geological and weather conditions, ballastless track and CWR track, adaptive to various geological conditions, highway and railway stayed bridge with the longest span in the world, the first railway bridge with up to 6 tracks in the world, long tunnels crossing metropolitan areas and along rivers, and a number of transport hubs integrating bus, metro, light rail and airport with easy transfer. China has developed high-speed EMUs with different speed and capable of meeting different operational requirements. Over 1,700 EMUs have entered commercial service. China Railway also has established a high-speed railway risk prevention and control system capable of comprehensive inspection, monitoring and maintenance of bridge, signaling, OCS and other equipment. The comfortable, safe, reliable and fast high-speed railways are changing the traveling and the living habits of the people.
In fact, by the end of 2016, and the total length of our network is about 22,000 kilometers, and the maximum operating speed is about 350 kilometers per hour. In 1990s, there was no one high-speed railway in China, that. But now we have extended the network to 29 provinces. That in China, there are only 33 provinces in total. So our high-speed railway is ranking the third in the world. Why Chinese high-speed railway can make a great development in a short time? How we did that? We think that it may be thanks to our spatial collaborative innovation model. The specialty of our model is that the government leading and the state-owned enterprises carrying out. At first, the government will make plans for the development of high-tech industries, and then the state-owned enterprises as the subject of innovation to carry out these plans. The government make the leading role by making some plans for the technical development and importing the technologies from outside and provide the R&D support, and they will expand the global market. At the same time, some universities and research institutions are also involved in this system. Of course, there are some other industries like the upstream enterprises and the downstream enterprises. The government organizes all of these participants together to work for our high-speed railway projects. So we can see that in this model, the government always leading a land role. Yeah, let's say that in the past of China, there are two biggest high-speed railway, the CSR and the CNR. But in order to go into the international market, the government in 2014, the government announced these two companies merged into one, the CRRC. After that, the CRRC becomes the biggest one railway enterprises in China and holding the significant market share. Now, let's start focus on the government's landing role. At first, the government will make the mid and long-term plannings for the development. In 2004, we make the first planning for the future 15 years. After that, every 4 years, we will amend this plan according to the actual situation. And the second, the government will decide the development model of high-speed railway, and they will lead the mechanism of technical import and the collaborative innovation. In 2003, in the initial stage of our high-speed railway, we faced a dilemma that buying the whole equipment from abroad or just do it by ourselves. The Ministry of the Railway, behalf of the government, made a decision that we should insist on independent innovation. But actually, it's not a real independent innovation because we first introduced the technologies from the developed countries, and then the government organized the universities and the research institutions and companies to research and absorb these technologies. Finally, we finished the redesign and re-innovation. And fourth, the government will provide financial support for the R&D. Take CRRC as an example. In 2016, the government funding is more than 450 million yuan. And finally, the government will provide some diplomacy or financial supporting for expanding the global market. Now in China, we are make a strategy that one belt, one road, Yeah. In this strategy, the Chinese government is struggling to export our high-speed railway to the industry, international markets, and such as some other Asian countries and some European countries. So in this model, we can see that although many institutions are involved, but most of the time they are under the control of the government. So why such a special model can work well in China? It may be related to our history culture. We know that in China, the Confucianism have effect more than 2,000 years, and it holds some thoughts that first, the administrators should maintain the dominant role, and the intellectuals should be loyalty to the government. And there is also an old saying that two tigers cannot live on the same mountain. So in this way, the government, we can see that although many institutions are involved, the government make a leading role in this model. Yeah, we can see some advantages of this model that for the companies, they can gain some support, political and financial support from the government. And for the countries, we may use this model to enhance our international competitions in some engineering projects. But we cannot ignore the disadvantages of this model, that it is because every institutions follow the government, so it may be discouraged to the curiosity of individuals, and especially for the small and middle-sized enterprises. And second, for these countries, these institutions that require personalities that may be difficult to create in such a kind of model. So we have some tips for our Chinese government and for this special model. First, the government should support more industries that is besides the national strategic industries. And second, maybe in China, the introduction and absorption and re-innovation can work well. So in the future, we can make best use of it. And third, the importance of the research should be recognized and encouraged by every participant. And fourth, a clear division of work should be defined and in each institutions. And finally, we can say that in this model, it is an internal model because few foreign institutions are involved. So in the future, for the Chinese government, we can try to attract more foreign partners into our collaborations to improve our innovations. So in China, besides the high-speed railway, we have many other engineering projects are also operated in such kind of spatial model. Because from a positive view that the Chinese government may fund a suitable way that is matched with our history, cultural, and our basic situations that it can work well. So maybe in the future, we hope that this spatial model can work well and work better in many Chinese industries. And this is the story about the Chinese collaborative innovations. And hope you are be interested in if you can try to the Chinese high-speed railway in China. Welcome to China. That's all. Thank you. Thanks for your attention.